every year. So I see an opportunity for us to really build our future in a positive manner where, this is almost like a regular thing for us, and we're competing for championships.
You sure?
Here's Kyrie this series, Game 3. He had 35 points. Every other game, he had 16 points, and his field goal percentage under 40 in the other game. So this sounds harsh, so I'm changing it. The official, what we're putting on the bar is Kyrie, the reason the Mavs lost. I felt awkward even asking that, to be 100%.
So what are you changing it to?
I was going to say, were you disappointed in Kyrie's performance?
Well, look.
Why do we have
fair.
the meetings?
I don't know.
Okay.
Honestly, you guys should sleep in. I should sleep in.
Well, my answer was going to be, I'm not blaming the entire loss on Kyrie. I do think
Blame pie.
Boston was better. Blame pie, he's got the larger slice.
There you go. Then he's the biggest reason.
He was the most disappointing captain. I think Boston was better. Now looking at, obviously, the way the games played out. But he was definitely the most disappointing Mav. You're not going to put that on the role players. Luka was good. Kyrie just was not himself. And I'm going to tell you, I was stunned that the Boston crowd got to him the way they did.
Can we show the home road
Yeah,
splits?
you see the difference between playing in Dallas and playing in Boston.
Yeah.
I mean, he's great at home. And the road, 34%, 17% from 3, 14 points a game for Kyrie Irving. That stunned me. Look, and the difference, it was the crowd. It was the setting. It was the atmosphere. You're facing the same defense. You're facing the same players, but you can't get it done at home. And Kyrie is 32 years old. Kyrie is a thoughtful guy. Kyrie is hit one of the biggest shots ever in the Oracle Arena in Golden State, which was, their crowd was crazy.
Yeah,
it's much better than the crowd now in San Francisco. But he was great in Golden State or in Oakland and hit that big shot. I'm stunned. I don't know if he was thinking too much or what, but I'm shocked that he let them get to him to the point where he played so poorly in Boston.
So I think the most important word in this question is biggest. Kyrie, the reason the Mavs lost? No. But of the reasons they lost, was he the biggest slice of the pie? That I think is fair.
His slice is not over 50.
No, he's not over 50%. That's my point. It just, but it is just a. I think the biggest reason they lost was you and I were wrong and Boston was better. You know what I mean? I think the biggest reason is even if Kyrie plays really well, it looks like Boston had a lot more answers.
They were a good matchup,
right? But of the Mavs controllables, if you will, the biggest reason was Kyrie. I think that's fair. And the numbers are a little inflated as far as what he did, because Bruce right, the defense is the same home and road, except the defense wasn't the same quite in Game 4 when Boston clearly relaxed because it's human nature and that inflates that. But yeah, I think there were a lot of factors. But this is where I'm going to take a slight turn. Over the last 5 years, the last 3 years in particular, a lot of the criticism of Kyrie, by myself and others, has been non-basketball. Right? Even when he's playing really well, we have poked at the non-basketball. I think the fair flip of that is, even when he plays poorly, acknowledge, on this playoff run and even in these finals, he has been a leader. He has showed to me a real maturity at the podium. Right. He has tried to keep the team calm. And I think he has done, in the past it was, man, this off-court stuff is pulling his play down. Now, the flip side of that is, I actually think he doesn't get quite as much vitriol for a really poor finals because the off-court stuff has lifted it up. Right. Because I think people were impressed by how he handled himself, how he handled all of it, and his thoughtful answer. So I will give him credit for that. But yeah, it's a bad matchup, and I think they got in his head a little bit. The crowd did.
I mean,
and
he basically admitted
it. He said it. Yeah.
And he had some nice tweets about next year. So even turning the.
That's when he picked the Nuggets all year.
And UConn.
He gets half credit
and
for
UConn.
We're being so generous.
Right.
I think UConn is his most legit.
UConn
and the Chiefs.
You don't get the Chiefs.
I picked the Chiefs.
You got it communicated.
Then why did you pick them?
Because I had to be, I want to bring some
edge. Because he believed in the Ravens. That's why.
It's first things first. The second
hour.
Today, we celebrate the end of basketball season in the most debonair way possible. A gentleman's sweep. A lot of people are asking me, writing me letters, is Walter going to be back? The answer is yes.
Walter.
Yeah, Walter.
That's our pianist.
Oh,
You didn't
nice
meet Walter?
guy. I met him last night. Yeah, yesterday.
Meanwhile,
Okay.
we look ahead to next year and see if the Celtics can repeat. Haven't had a repeat champion in a long time. Oh, Walter's just out there tickling. But right now, of course, a segment you have to see to believe. I'll be 100% honest with you.
This is not controversial.
Wow, okay, let the audience decide that one. Last night we closed the books on the 2023-24 season. Now we spread our wings and fly towards a new year. Here with a rich tapestry of expectations, precedents, and performance is an absolutely insane, way too early 24-25 edition of King of the Hill. You got to stick around.
You know what,
It makes no
America?
sense.
I got to tell you something. I didn't want to do this. I felt it was too early. And Wilds asked me to do it, then made our producer Stephen Hubbard call me on my landline at home this morning to ask me to do it. I thought it was the fire department calling. I didn't even know someone had the number. And I'm like, gosh, it's that important.
Oh, so you're under duress.
And
That's
2
why.
hours later, he's just ripping.
Okay, you be the judge.
You are like-
All right, you tell me. This makes sense.
First, folks who strive to be on the hill next year. That's 20 guys. Derek White, Zion, I'm not going to read them all, but it's people that jump out to you. Kristaps and Derek White, champions striving to get on the hill. Brandon Ingram, Lauri Markkanen, Wilds guy, Şengün, Jalen Green, all of them trying to get on the hill. They are not yet on the hill. Top 28 guys. Here we go. Bottom row of the hill. Tyrese Halliburton. Oh, by the way, the red and green is based on where they were at the All-Star break this season. Our first hill of this season is what it's based off of, not at the end of the year. Halliburton slipped a bit. Jamal Murray's postseason didn't help him. Dame, Doc Rivers going on Simmons' podcast being like, Dame told me he was totally out of shape, that he didn't work out all summer. I'm like, Doc, you're still the coach. What are you doing?
now.
Paolo's right there. Drew moves up, and I'll be honest, this, you want to take issue with this, fine. I didn't know what to do with Ja.
I like Ja here.
You can't not have him on the hill.
He's going to be
but
better,
it
though.
feels
I
I think he's going to be better than that, but it's also been so long.
Right.
Yep.
I wanted him on the hill. I didn't know where to put him. All right, now we get to the top 21 guys, so call it top 20 for simplicity's sake. Jimmy and Kawhi, man, for
Every year,
one
so.
game at peak health, I love them both. But over the course of a season, I don't know what I'm getting from them.
No.
Booker stays where he is. I was impressed by Paul George this year. I thought he played well start to finish. Obviously, Maxey improved his standing, and Kyrie improved his standing greatly from where he was at the All-Star break this year. Now we are to, again, before you reveal it, Hubs, everyone left is a top 15 player, which means they are either a superstar or right on the precipice of it. Fifth row, Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown.
Sorry, as a lifesaver.
They are top 15. They might be right on the fringe of top 10. I don't know how one can argue that they shouldn't be on the same row. I don't know what the problem here possibly is. I know Wilds has been catcalling this all day. Anthony Davis stays where he is. Donovan, I thought, was excellent when he was healthy this year, was excellent in the playoffs. And Wemby, yes, this is projection, but I think next year he is going to be a top 15 guy.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think he's going to be the best defensive player in the league.
Top 10.
And so Wemby's, right there. Now to our top 10. I don't know how you move down LeBron or Steph based on the year they had this year. Steph, I guess you could argue the second half of the year went cold, but they were healthy. They were really good. They were the best players on their team. Kevin Durant, I thought, once again, I don't blame the Suns' failures on him. I thought he was really good. And Jalen Brunson was spectacular from start to finish and finished 5th in MVP voting. Third row, two obvious ones. Shea and Anthony Edwards, two guys who it looked like a month ago, are they going to carry their teams to the finals at that age? Not quite, but excellent playoff runs for both of them. Joel Embiid is, to me, the most difficult player in the league to rank. If someone says he's the 4th best player in the league, they can make a case for it. If someone says there are 20 guys I'd rather have if my goal is to win a championship and have them from game 1 to game 100, I'm like, well, I guess. So I don't know what to do with that. That is a very hard ranking because he could be anywhere on it. And then the top two rows don't really need explanation. Luka and Giannis stay exactly where Giannis moves down from where it was at the All-Star break. Because
Was Giannis one?
I had Giannis one at the All-Star break, and then Atop the hill's Nikola Jokic, a sneaky winner of these NBA Finals because no one now can claim someone has ascended past him. Luka was going to have to win the title to even make it an argument. That is a cogent, thoughtful, impeccable king of the hill. There is not controversy the way Wildes was trying to argue. I almost feel like I should be